Knowledge truly is power, and this is demonstrated through permanent recovery once an individual maintains complete understanding of each anxiety symptom by full explanation, thereby losing their fear. Each and every anxiety symptom has a logical explanation and can be reversed. Once the symptom is demystified, logic takes over in place of fear. When anyone is in the dark about something, when they are mystified by reactions occurring in their body, they immediately believe the worst. This is a natural response, especially for someone who is sensitized, to experience heightened awareness of symptoms and to remain very much on guard. Negative thinking and worry only add to this reflexive action. A strange or unusual symptom is immediately interpreted as dangerous or harmful by the sensitized mind and active imagination. The possibilities seem endless as one shifts into what-if thoughts, especially if they're uninformed about a particular symptom. Understanding and knowledge help tremendously, dousing the fires of imagination and comforting a person who often feels out of control with their anxiety symptoms. Okay, now it's time to shatter the myths, unmask the terror, and learn the truth about many of the most intrusive anxiety symptoms. I named this program Anxiety Busters, and now I'm going to bust these myths about symptoms wide open. There will be no room left to wonder, worry, or waste any more of your precious time over symptoms, allowing them more attention than you already have. Although annoying and interfering, anxiety symptoms do not signify danger or are harmful anyway to your health. Trust me, I've probably experienced them all and then some. Remember, symptoms are merely the result of your interpretation of an event or situation. They're fueled by adrenaline elicited by continued stress. Fearful worry churns out symptoms of fear, and statements which begin with "what if" are the trigger. What if my heart doesn't stop pounding is a good example. That's enough to start the fear-adrenaline fear cycle going. We are all aware of the long list of anxiety symptoms. I'm going to discuss the most common and intrusive symptoms to give you an idea of the logic behind the symptoms, the most efficient way to quell these reactions, and how to prevent their return. Once you understand the logic behind these dreaded feelings, you'll understand what they are, what they're not, and how to eradicate them once and for all. You'll grasp the concept of knowledge is power because understanding removes the bite from these symptoms, and without your fear of them, they no longer retain the fuel to continue disturbing you. Explanation is a very powerful tool. Let's begin with pounding heart or palpitations. The heart pounds in response to a fearful thought. Adrenaline is released in response to what usually begins as what if thinking. What if these symptoms never subsides? Releases a whoosh of adrenaline and you're off and running. Naturally, anything connected with the heart is upsetting for anyone with anxiety or who is sensitized. The fear-adrenaline fear cycle begins with a minor symptom, followed by your reaction to it and the release of more adrenaline, which only serves to compound the symptom. This is why understanding is essential. Although it's natural, especially in a sensitized individual when their heart starts to pound, to think heart attack, logic will eventually prevail. This simple explanation of fearful thoughts inducing the release of adrenaline to vital organs makes perfect sense. You may even feel weak when the blood centers around your heart and lungs, increasing breathing and heart rates. But this is providing you with energy to fight the perceived predator or flee, whichever your choice. Your body is prepared. Don't be shocked by this reaction or fuel it with your extended fears. Your body is reacting appropriately in the circumstance. If you were in a burning building and needed to escape immediately, you would be thankful for this rush of adrenaline. It is life-saving and essential. Learning to quiet it down when it's easily tripped due to sensitization is another story. Use of your coping skills will provide you with all that you need, combined with essential diet nutrition skills, which we'll discuss in detail later on in the program. For now, be aware of your internal thoughts such as, what if my heart never stops pounding? Statements such as these fuel the symptom and perpetuate the fear. You have the power to change these thoughts and turn this symptom off. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how swiftly the sweating subsides, the racing heart ends, and how easily your body returns to normal balance. This is not a heart attack, not an illness. It's the result of adrenaline and nothing more. The heart is a very strong muscle and is able to withstand over 200 beats a minute, and this is for extended periods of time as well. The true signs of a heart attack are not even similar to an anxiety reaction such as this. If you're feeling shaky after one of these episodes, move around, walk off the excess adrenaline. This is energy in your body, and within 3 to 5 minutes, your body will reabsorb the energy and you'll probably experience a drowsy sensation, the mild after effects of a racing heart. Naturally, I recommend all heart-associated symptoms be checked out by a physician to rule out any possibility of physical illness. This will put your mind at ease. Once it's determined to be anxiety, you'll rest assured. This is a reaction to overstimulation, often triggered by excessive worry, digestion of stimulants such as caffeine, nicotine, or an excess of sugar. Attacks are not dangerous, and they'll dissipate in a timely fashion when you turn off the fear statements, move around, and allow them to run their course. When they become less important, they lose their significance, and without fear, the fuel is eliminated. The door is shut without the fear trigger, and this symptom will fade and eventually completely discontinue invading your life. The second symptom I'd like to speak about is the shaking, weak legs. When anxiety related, this symptom is quite common. A fearful thought such as, what if my legs begin to feel weak again, elicits a release in adrenaline, resulting in a logical body reaction. Remember, all anxiety reactions have a logical explanation and can be reversed. The blood rushes to vital organs, heart and lungs, in an effort to fuel them for fight or flight. The body is poised for fight or flight, which is escape. If neither one occurs, if you don't run from the perceived danger or you don't fight the danger, the extremities are left tingling and often weak due to the adrenaline rush of energy. The energy has not been expelled through running or walking or fighting or fleeing. Therefore, the legs begin to feel heavy or shaky with all this energy within. This is why walking disperses the energy and reabsorbs the adrenaline within 3 to 5 minutes. If you were to continue walking slowly but surely, the adrenaline would become reabsorbed. A moderate walking regimen will prevent further flare-ups of the symptom as it will absorb excess energy back into the body. Also, be aware of your internal thoughts and statements. This is the trigger for 99% of adrenaline rushes. It all begins with a thought. Jelly legs, as the symptom is commonly called, is primarily due to worry. And yes, worry will continue to add to this sensation. More adrenaline is released by fear, and the longer this lingers. Use of coping skills will eliminate this symptom and prevent its return. Symptom number 3, which is high up on the list, especially for those who are sensitized, is dizziness. Anxiety-produced dizziness is tension-related. Muscles around the neck and eyes contract and often create unsteady sensations. This was always one of my big fears. When you release this fear, the muscles relax and the dizziness dissipates as well. The majority of people who experience dizziness, as I had, are breath holders and sometimes overbreathers. This upsets the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body, resulting in this lightheaded sensation. What you need to do is take in one smooth inhalation, hold it a few seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth, relaxing your body as you do so. I remember what relief I experienced when I realized how easy it was to remedy this anxiety-produced dizziness. Some people overbreathe and wash out too much oxygen, resulting in a slight sensation of lightheadedness. This is not dangerous. Use the same cleansing breath. We often use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale through your nostrils with your mouth closed to the count of 4. Hold to the count of 7 and exhale through your mouth slowly to the count of 8. Once or twice is enough and your breathing and body are restored to proper levels. You don't want to overdo this technique or you'll be defeating your purpose. Also, Also, be careful about skipping meals. The lightheadedness you experience when waiting too long in between meals is a result of a drop in blood sugar levels. A snack of protein, such as nuts, cheese, peanut butter, will lift the sugar levels and keep them steady. Avoid refined sugars. They'll lift you quickly but drop you even faster. The slower the food metabolizes, the longer your blood sugar remains stable. Oh, and as far as fainting goes, your blood sugar seldom drops during panics. If your heart is pounding, your pressure rises, not falls. Therefore, there is no chance of fainting here. Number 4 is a fear that everyone who experiences anxiety thinks about at one time or another. It's called going insane, and no, this will not happen. If that were the case, we would have all been taken away a long time ago. Seriously, though, this is merely panic and not a deep-seated mental illness. You do not have a mental illness. This is not an illness at all. It's a set of negative behavior patterns which will never harm you. Once you alter your approach, these patterns scatter and cease to exist. You have much more power than you're aware of. Number 5 is breathing and feelings of suffocation. When anxiety related, this is also a very common fear and very easily explained. Our chest muscles tighten when we feel fearful. It makes one feel as if they have limited lung capacity when this is happening. This is not true, though. Your lungs and breathing are fine, and it's just tension. Ever try to hold your breath? It's not that easy. All of a sudden, you'll give it up and grab in more air. It's a natural reflex. You couldn't hold your breath very long even if you tried, so breathe easy. Or know that when you accept the knowledge and no longer fear it, it will loosen its hold on you. Number 6 is head pain or pressure. Scalp muscles often tighten in response to stress. This has been described as a tight band around the head or pressure on the top of the scalp. It's nothing but stress and tightened muscles, and with acceptance, this pressure releases as the muscles do. Number 8 is trouble swallowing, and this is also a very common symptom, especially when one becomes very fearful. It's explained very easily as well. Constricting muscles in your throat and esophagus, which are muscular in nature, often tighten up with fear and give one the feeling that they are unable to swallow. But this is just tightened muscles, nothing more. When you embrace the feeling, accept it, and don't try to stop it. It will lessen in time. Number 9 is blurred vision, and this is created by the muscles around our eyes. When we become tense, these muscles tend to contract, and this dilates our pupils. This always passes as soon as you relax. Number 10 is missed heartbeats. When anxiety related, this is a very common but unusual sensation which upsets many people, although it doesn't mean anything and it's not harmful. It's not really missed heartbeats, but heartbeats that are spaced unevenly and created by caffeine and indigestion. It feels as if your heart is turning over. Don't allow this to fool you into believing you're sick, since exercise is one of the cures, one of the great remedies that alleviates this sensation. Triggers for this symptom are sensitization, which is the term referring to a reactive body due to constant stress and worry. Also, overstimulation may cause this, and caffeinated and carbonated beverages as well trigger this symptom. It's often merely wind around the heart, which passes with moderate exercise, such as walking. There are a few other symptoms connected with the anxiety condition, which create a great deal of questions, but are also harmless and temporary. Depersonalization and derealization. This is one of the most common symptoms connected with the anxiety condition and is merely the product of a tired mind. A mind exhausted from continuous worry and tension becomes less resilient. A feeling of watching oneself or feeling detached, removed from reality may result temporarily. This is the key word here. There is nothing physically wrong besides a tired mind. When worry is put to rest, the mind rejuvenates and this sensation dissolves completely. A refreshed mind is a mind free of worry. This goes hand in hand with obsessed thinking, another symptom of an exhausted mind. thoughts stick, and vulnerability sets in. The worry cycle, which is constant exhaustive worry, sets the stage for obsessive thinking and even compulsive behaviors. Learning to apply coping skills will help interrupt the fears and allow the mind a much-needed rest as these symptoms ease off. Lowered serotonin levels may be boosted through diet and nutrition. This aids in averting these symptoms as well. We discuss this fully later on in the program. Another symptom connected with the anxiety condition is anxious fatigue. This is merely another reaction to constant worry, resulting in depletion of adrenaline and serotonin. With a shift in diet, nutrition, and interruption of worried internal dialogue, the body refreshes and energy returns. There's a difference between healthy energy and anxious energy. I personally struggled with this and was amazed at how quickly my body rejuvenated once I gave it a chance. Naturally, when you're concerned about any unusual feelings, you must always rule out a physical source. Therefore, we suggest you check in with your physician before using any program, diet, course, therapy, medication, or herbal treatment. This just goes without saying. We also cover further anxiety symptoms, what they are, what they're not, and how to cope with them in our SOS ebook. Many find this a helpful adjunct to this program. It's important to realize not all symptoms are anxiety related. Many conditions mimic anxiety, and it's helpful to be aware of them too. Never assume all symptoms are anxiety, as many difficulties may be physical in nature. This doesn't mean that they're terrible, it just means that you may need to treat them a different way. The first one is inner ear problems. This is true vertigo, where one experiences a spinning, off-balance type of sensation, not the fleeting, lightheaded sensation of anxiety. Menopause symptoms in women often mimic anxiety attacks to a degree, but once you understand the anatomy of a hot flash and actually use the same coping skills, it will dissipate much faster. Calmly experiencing it out is the only way to deal with this also. PMS. A lot of women experience a heightened sense of anxiety at this time of the month. Diet plays a huge part in diminishing these symptoms. Another natural cure for a natural function of the body. Flu and sickness. Often before an illness such as the flu or even a minor cold or infection, those who are hyper-aware of their body might experience a degree of anxiety. This is because your body is fighting off an infection or inflammation, which takes a great deal of energy. This is the time to slow down, eat properly, relax, and allow your immune system to work. Many times, individuals wonder where these symptoms originate. They rack their brains trying to find the source of their discomfort. There actually is a source if you look at this from a logical point of view. It may be hormonal in nature, repressed strong emotions, anger or grief, even excitement, stimulating substances, medication, diet, nutrition, learned fears, or inadequate communication skills. Once the source is located, you'll understand how these feelings generally can be traced and do not merely surface out of the blue as they somehow seem to do. Remember, the word symptom translates into a signal or clue or sign of evidence. It's your body alerting you to a need for adjustment, often in the way you view things and interpret them. Unlike symptoms of illness, these symptoms require a small shift in behavior, point of view, perception, or interpretation. An alteration in diet, nutrition is generally required as well. Anxiety symptoms are intrusive yet superficial, and they disappear swiftly through minor adjustments. Lost control is easily regained through simple techniques. Yes, once you begin coping with the symptoms, changing your diet, nutrition, and stepping out of your own way, the fears ebb, reactions simmer down, and your mind and body begin to restore and rejuvenate. Inner strength and resolve return, and you begin to feel like your old self again. You start feeling stronger, both physically and emotionally. The body has wonderful restorative powers once we move out of our own way. Symptoms of anxiety are not dangerous and eventually depart when your inner fear is eliminated. Through understanding, coping, behavioral changes, diet, nutrition, and authentic lifestyle changes, you too will seize control of your life again and begin living fully and enjoyably. Understanding is key. Understanding is the answer. Understanding is truly powerful. Yes, knowledge is power. Have a wonderful week.